The Roosters are crowing in season 2025, and with just 2 games left in the regular season, Two Wells are hoping to remain undefeated and take all the momentum into the final series, while the Anglevale Owls simply must win, and by a fair bit as well, to keep their narrow finals hopes alive. Welcome to Two Wells Oval for the APFL Match of the Round, proudly presented by Filming Footy. My name's Lewis McKenna. Joining me is Dino on the camera. We might have a special commentator later on in the afternoon, but really excited for this matchup between two sides that, well, one side, the home side in the Two Wells Roosters, that not only this season but in recent years in the APFL have just absolutely dominated. They're not only the only undefeated side in the APFL, but one of the only undefeated sides left in the country, you'd say, just dominating their competition as they do week in, week out. Anglevale there as well, got their Indigenous Guernseys on as well, celebrating Indigenous round here in the APFL, and look brilliant as well. But they've got a tough task to go up against the Two Wells Roosters today. Talk about the weather going into this one. It has been a little bit of drizzling rain around. The Rezzies copped a little bit there in the second half, but seems to have cleared up a little bit. Some blue skies to the right-hand side as both teams break out and get ready. We'd like to thank our partners as well, our streaming partners. Of course, you're watching this stream brought to you by Dartfish and Filming Footy. And the scoreboard today will be brought to you by Sportal. Classic clashes as well. Archie's thongs go to the player of the game. In this one here today, we'll have a post-game presentation. Custom by ORTC. They'll also get a beanie by Custom ORTC as well. High Five E-Bikes and Kimberley Accommodation Group. As both teams go into the middle, some absolute superstars for both of these sides, but Two Wells in particular with some cracking players that have just torn this season apart. Caleb Edmead, one of those ones coming back into the fold, 41 goals in the season. Luke Barnett, their vice-captain, 29 goals. Jacob Thompson up forward has missed a couple games, but he's got 33 goals in the season. So some of the best players in the competition here on display this afternoon. So the weather has cleared a little bit. We just had the reserves as well go through. It was a top 3 clash. Of course, Two Wells and Anglevale there was Two Wells getting a comfortable win in the end, 12-8, 80 to 6-10, 46. As the umpire holds the ball aloft, ready to go here at Two Wells Oval. Thank you for joining us here Saturday afternoon, live and free on Filming Footy as they get the clearance straight away through Mitchell inside forward 50. Clears all leapers at the footy, but out the back of the contest is Williams. He moves it back through hand, getting corralled well, so they have to keep moving it. Looks like he didn't dispose of the ball at all there. And it gets trapped underneath, so umpire will circle around. Here in a dangerous position, Anglevale trying to strike first. It's going to be a tough task here this afternoon, taking on the best club in the land. So snapping out of defence, but not really getting too much purchase on it. They're able to move their way out of the defensive 50. A little too strong there for Warneke, but his second effort was good. Just corrals a little bit, moves it across the Wise. Couldn't quite get any clean possession. Just, yeah, maybe a throw, and was rightfully called. Tried to get it off to Sekafine, but umpire was hot onto it. So back inside forward 50 for the Owls, sitting underneath that one. I think that was Tahana there. Couldn't quite get any clean possession, but eventually back to the captain, but couldn't get any purchase on his kick there. And they'll clear, go the Roosters, all the way to the outer side to Smith. Sees something he likes and goes quickly, a one-on-one contest over the back. Maybe a little bit of a push in the back there, and there was. So Shannon Slattery will get the ball back just outside 50. So looks to go quickly inside. Sees Thompson up ahead, juggling ball, couldn't quite pull it down. Rudiger, one of the best defenders in the league, just composes himself onto his left boot and pops it over to the captain in Mitchell. Plays on quickly, centre wing. An uncontested mark taken by Thomas Watts. Just sends it up the line, but sitting behind and being able to intercept Declan Slattery. The difference between these sides is how they set up. It'll be one to watch here this afternoon as well, as not able to get a clean possession there away with the Owls, and that was Ashton Bennett Penrose there amongst the contest. So knocked down once again Mitchell, a few early touches, tries to break through, eventually does. Finds a little bit of room to go inside, forward 50, leaping up it was Tahana taking the mark, too far out to score. So goes inside, forward 50, sees an open player. Brilliant kick going inside. And mark taken by the co-captain and Isaiah Glancy. 8 goals on the season, straight in front here, and a chance to throw the first punch here for Angle Vale. They've struggled in recent weeks, particularly last week against against Balaclava. But a chance to get off to a hot start. It's a brilliant kick, it's true, straight through the middle. 3 minutes into this one on the Sportal scoreboard, Angle Vale taking the early lead. Just 1 goal straight. 2 Wells Roosters yet to score. And Glancy through for his 9th goal of the season. So that's the start they wanted. It'll be interesting to see how long they can keep this pressure up. Of course, going up against such a strong side. I just mentioned it before, Angle Vale playing against Balaclava, another tough side there last week. At home, 3 goals, 14-32 they scored to 18, 8-1, 16. Just the 3 goal scorers in Marshall, Tahana and Blumson. So, polarising numbers. And they want to turn the script on that, and they get another opportunity here right out of the middle. Mitchell's been busy early. Absolute standout player this season for Angle Vale. I've had the luxury of being able to call a few of their games as he gets a bit of pressure coming from behind from Warnicky, so he has to go quickly inside forward 50. And Joby Maynard taking the contested mark about 42 metres out. Looks to play on quickly, sees something he likes up ahead. Tried to find Tahana, but well done by Slattery to punch it over in front of the scoreboard. So, to be hurled back in here. They're threatening Angle Vale. It was all about the first 5 minutes and really getting themselves into the contest. Well, they've done that. So Maynard up in the ruck. Maybe a little undersized, but did well to knock it down. But the Roosters get the ball and retreat out of their defensive 50, but that's going to be out in the full. So they'll hand it back to the Owls here to go back inside once again. We thank our APFL partners as well, Viswater, Sports Powers Orange Group, Sharon, Belgravia Apparel, Synergy Signs, Mango Inc., McCracken Ford, Balaclava and the Plains producer. Making today's stream possible, of course. So, the Owls, just outside 50. Pop a little ball inside, trying to find Williams. Slattery closed well. Now going back on the ball, Mitchell just pumps it outside. Rathman was there amongst it. Quickly slung to the ground, but it is called for a sling tackle. So, I believe this may be Carter. It is. So, Josh Carter. Another set shot opportunity here for Angle Vale. So, little bit of an angle. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. No massive breeze to speak of here. A little bit of a breeze blowing from left to right. Shouldn't affect the kick too much. Has to kick this about 40 to 45 metres. What would be a really hot start here for the Owls. They come in as heavy underdogs, it must be said. So on the left boot, on his way in, he's got the distance covered. Pops it through the middle of the goals, and the Angle Vale Owls are off to a hot start. Out by 2 goals. And through for his 4th goal of the season, Josh Carter, of course his first of the afternoon. They'll be really happy with how they've gone. A good bounce-back response after what could be said as a disappointing performance last week. 6 minutes gone in this one. It's 12-0 in favour of the visiting side. Talk about 2 Wells' performance last week going up against Hummocks, who have dropped off a little bit in this season, must be said. Spent a little bit of time second on the ladder. They got a comfortable victory, 118-62 in that one. We'll talk about the goal scorers in a moment as 2 Wells just trying to stabilise himself a little bit through Sekafine. Move the ball by hand and bomb a ball long up the wing. It's a bit of a wobbler and a good mark taken in defence for the Owls. So, little kick over the top to Mason. So whether they decide to go outside or in, you see the jerseys there on, the Guernseys I should say, on display for Angle Vale. They look brilliant. Celebrating the Indigenous round here as Rathman over the top, couldn't quite get any good purchase on the fist. They move it out through hands once again. Sekafine works his way through traffic. Try to get the handball off, just no one was presenting right now, wrapped up in a tackle, and umpire's going to take it back centre wing. Ball it up, just inside the centre square. High ball up there from the umpire. Ball smothered there underneath, and A little fist out the back of the contest, but a little bit of holding there as Pellizzari's going to get the free kick. As the Roosters now back inside forward 50. Barnett around the contest, taking the mark. And in fact, giving away a free kick. Just threw his opponent off the ball. I believe that was Rathman. So, in fact, that was Carter. Moves it across to Mitchell. Just a little looping handball over the top to Mason. He's looking to get to work, getting chased. So has to get something away quickly. Just falls through a bunch of players there, now out the back. Good shepherd there from Aaron Dart. They're not out of trouble yet, the Roosters. They have to move this cleanly out of their back line. And it is a good kick over the top to Warneke. Warneke moves it across. Sekafine being busy for the Roosters in this one. Already had 5 or 6 touches. Goes into the corridor and they look to move it real quick now through Franklin. Long high ball inside forward 50. Thompson not quite able to get in the position A1. Now at the back of the contest, close to the boundary line. And in fact, it's actually just in the forward pocket. Going to be balled up. So a deep stoppage, the first opportunity here for Two Wells to try and lock it in. Wright and Thompson in the ruck, and there's been a whistle blown. Free kick to Thompson. So Jacob Thompson, the reigning male medalist in the APFL. Missed a couple games. Certainly been an important player this season. 33 goals. Looking for the first here, just to regain a bit of composure for Two Wells. Not in any sort of trouble yet, but giving away the first 2 is not what they imagined. A little short run up. Pops it on its way, and I think he snuck it through for a goal. He has, so Two Wells respond. Through Jacob Thompson, they're full forward. It's very unlikely that we're going to go through a full game without seeing a goal from Jacob Thompson. So 1 goal advantage here for Anglevale. 2 goals straight for them. 1 goal for Two Wells is on the Sportal scoreboard. Jacob Thompson, last time we were here, earlier in the season in a game against Balaclava, won the Archie Thongs for the player of the game after kicking 5. And just dominated pinch hitting in the ruck as well, of course. So back in the middle. Knocked down by Wright, but not really to any of his midfielders' advantage. Leading ahead of the footy was Josh Carter out of the back line. Was able to take the uncontested mark. A little bit of a grub of a kick, and it is intercepted. So they're able to work their way through the middle. Dart trying to break through. Just moves the ball by hand. Now a long ball to the top of the goal square once again. Thompson sitting underneath this one. Taking the mark again. Just that forward craft. Leaving him one-on-one. It'll have the Anglevale coaches reeling. It's just not a position you want to see him in at all. So back-to-back goals here potentially for Jacob Thompson. This one, a little bit of angle, but no distance really to speak of. Looks as if he's going to go around his body. Carter was closing, but couldn't get close enough. Through for another goal. So back-to-back goals for Thompson and the Two Wells Roosters. They draw level in this game once again, and they just show their composure. So whistle's been blown here. They need another footy as it's been hurled over the trees and into the cemetery. So 2 goals apiece here at Two Wells Oval. And it doesn't take them long at all, the Roosters, even if they got off to a little bit of a slow start, to surge back into this game through Jacob Thompson. 35 goals now on the season. Even with missing a few games, he's always going to be right up there. So once again, Wright in the ruck. Now Mitchell underneath it. The captain, well, one of the co-captains for Anglevale, gets trundled out the back of the pack. Looking to try and pick it up there and move it out through hands. Marshall now. Tackle to the ground. Good tackle there from Blake Harris. So 55 metres out from Two Wells' goal here. It's just trickled its way towards the forward 50. And it'll go once again. So Wright, once again, getting the tap down. Out the back of the contest, Mason soccers it all on the ground, but didn't go too far at all as David Hayden is wrapped up quickly. Just about back in the centre of the ground once again. Knocked down inside. Mason now wrapped up quickly. Comes out the back of the contest. Humphreys is there for Two Wells. Gets the hands out. And Warneke now on his left boot. Sees someone out in front leading up at the footy. That was Sean Smith. Out the back of the contest now, and Ed Mead works his way onto it. Moves it back through hands now to Warnaker once again. Inside forward 50, trickling its way towards the boundary line and eventually going over. So it should be last touch with a free kick to Anglevale, but the boundary umpire is going to say it was touched before it went over. So hurled back in here, about 25 metres around from 2L's goal. Thompson tried to push away right in the ruck and rip it out, but couldn't quite get it done. Not able to get any clean possession out as Wise goes with the fend off. Trundles the ball deeper inside forward 50, all the way across now and eventually moving its way towards the boundary. It did come off the boot there of Blake Harris. The Owls are arguing that it should have been last possession, but going to hurl it back in. High ball in there from the boundary umpire. Thompson knocking it down in front. Now working close as the Owls pump it on the boot. Hayden couldn't quite take the mark, but good with the second effort. Moves it out through hand. Off to Wise now. Another extra handball. Looking to go inside forward 50. Harris now. Handball into the corridor. Dangerous position here for Anglevale to try and defend. Snapping around the body. I think he's put it through. He has. Brilliant kick there. Right in a dangerous position, and Rainbreck kicks his first goal of the afternoon, and 2Wells get their first lead of the game. Now with 3 straight 18 on the board, on the Sportal scoreboard, leading by 1 goal. And they have dominated this contest in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Just got their composure, didn't take them long. And 2Wells now out by a goal. So Dylan Rainbreck, his 10th goal of the season. As it looks like we're going to have a special commentator in a moment as well, our regular source, Anglevale Reserves coach, of course, is now out of the middle of the ground. Goes Luke Barnett, inside forward 50, over the head of Slattery. So the Owls have some work to do, though, to clear it. And there has been a free kick paid here for a throw, so Slattery will get the free kick. Shannon Slattery. Not too much angle to speak of. Man on the mark stands right on the 25-metre arc. So on his way in to convert on his 10th goal of the season. Puts it on its way. Umpire says it's a goal, so 4 goals unanswered here for 2Wells. And now move out to a 2-goal advantage. 2Wells, of course, in fact, Anglevale had that advantage just a moment ago. But just like that, they responded on the Sportal scoreboard. 6 straight goals in this game between the two sides. As we'll get your microphone on source. Of course, our regular, you could call you this season, the Anglevale Reserves coach. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, pretty good. Assistant commentator for you.
That's it. We might have to. We've been talking about trying to line you up for the grand final. It might be a gig for you. As back in the middle once again, Ruckman go at it, and 2Wells, they just keep bombing it back inside forward 50. Anglevale started off so positively, and now they have to work hard to try and get it out of their defence. They're trying to get it across to Marshall. He's got some work to do. Pelizzari picking it up, quickly set upon and wrapped up in a tackle. Maybe had a little bit of prior there, but umpires are fairly consistent with it so far in this game. You obviously just had a game, Source, being the reserves coach. Rezzy's a good chance to make finals still, as goes inside forward 50. And it looks like it's going to go through touch for the first behind of the game. It was in the end it was 80-46, but from what I watched of the game, you were reasonably competitive in moments.
Yeah, well, the stats tell us we were in the game for a fair while, and they just got away in that last quarter. I think we had to take three or four of the guys off. Well, 3 guys off, and 4 of them have come up from B grade to play A grade today. So
that'll hurt you.
Which did hurt us, unfortunately, but.
So Turnbull, the ruckman, coming across to take the mark, goes inside forward 50 over the hands of Carter, and there's been a whistle blown here, so looks as if it might have been a little bit off the ball.
No, it was a mark for McKay.
Oh, it was a mark for McKay. There we go. So now Mitchell, TJ, working his way through the contest, wrapped up in a tackle there well by Rathman. So you may have been in the rooms, Source, but 2 straight goals to start the game for Anglevale. They got off to a hot start, but 4 straight since for 2 wells. They're a side that can compose themselves quickly.
Yeah, and I'd say second half we might be in a bit of trouble when those boys that have already played games today.
Yeah,
we've got a couple of under-17s out there that played earlier.
Yep.
And 4 of the reserves guys now playing A grade as well. So they're going to run out of legs at some stage, I would suspect.
So still no danger signs just yet. Only down by a couple goals. They've been competitive so far, and right in the ruck has been incredibly competitive. As is the captain or co-captain in Lockie Mitchell, already had 5 or 6 early touches as Hayden sitting underneath it takes the intercept mark, looks to go quickly over the top, and now going is Harris. Just cuts inside, sees an option there to handball across. Now Slattery gets tackled. That should be holding the ball. Good tackle down in defence there for the Owls. They look to play on quickly. One-on-one contest out here, and that should be a free kick as well, jumping on the back. That is Ashton Bennett-Penrose.
One of our under-17s who played earlier today.
In fact, actually, it was a free kick going the other way. I'm quite surprised by that, but Sekafine now. Now goes inside forward 50, and well done by Carter to get into a good spot and take the intercept mark. So they just calculate themselves a little bit, move it across to Mitchell. Just dobs a little ball short to Mason, who couldn't quite take the mark. Going towards the boundary line. Now has a couple Roosters to beat, but it was a good handball underneath the Tahana. Over the top. Now working his way Bennett Penrose. Extra handball in through the corridor, and now going inside forward 50, the Owls. Over the head of Maynard in open contention here. TJ, handball out. Marshall onto his left boot, turning around his body, but saving the day there. Going back and taking the mark was Patrick Binion. As 2 wells look to retreat. They're a dominant team. I know obviously you coming across and you've got your you're always going to have your Anglevale colours on, of course, but 2 wells are just such a dominant force in this league. They've proven in the last 10 minutes or so exactly how quickly they can, dominate in a contest.
Yeah, well, they're a side that's been playing together for a long time. They know each other's game. They're really well drilled, absolutely dominant, and they're probably going to go 5 grand finals in a row, 5 premierships in a row, the way they're going.
Yeah, I've called a couple Malala games that they look strong, but I'll probably say the favouritism sits in the Roosters' hands right now, but you never know. Footy's a funny game.
Yeah, Malala are playing very good footy too, but 2 wells just tend to find another gear when they need to.
Absolutely. As Mason picks it up, quickly hacks it on his boot towards goal, and looks as if that'll go over the boundary line. It does. So free kick here to the Roosters in Patrick Binion. So going to just cut it across laterally. Barnett all the way over the top, sees his runner to get onto it. All the way over to Jamie Humphreys. Now has a one-on-one to try and win here against Bennett Penrose, but goes over the boundary. So another debutant as well, I understand. Jackson Ashford is another debutant. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, he's the president's son.
Yeah, there we go. So you want to be nice?
So he's been keen to play some A-grade footy because his mates in the under-17s that we've brought up this year have, obviously. So it's good that these young fellas are keen. He played a game for us last week in the reserves.
Yeah,
did what he needed to, just in the pocket and off the bench. Kicked a goal, I think, from memory. So he'll be a good footballer in a couple of years when he starts to learn the game a bit more.
Absolutely. So good to blood some youngsters here as you have in the back half of this season, as well as Pellizzari now marches his way out the back of the contest. One-on-one here, but sitting underneath it there was a little bit of a knee out of defensive 50 there. Coming out here for the Owls, picking it up, but quickly getting set upon there. Didn't have too much prior to get the ball away. It's Lachlan McKay.
We do have another debutant out there too, which he may not be on the list.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, he is now. You've written him down. Browan Davies. It's his first ever A-grade game.
There we go. So Bluddenham here, Anglevale, and still well and truly in this contest.
His younger brother made his debut earlier, actually, this year.
There we go. So,
which you will have called a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure. Over the top, Humphries now for the Roosters. On the outer side, goes over the top trying to find Smith. Just working its way close to the boundary before Patrick Warnaker can pick it up, and should be last touch here. Free kick to Anglevale and is.
Speaking of the devil himself, Rowan Davies getting a kick.
Perfect, there we go.
Not sure whether it's his first one or not.
I haven't called his name yet, so...
Oh, no.
Oh, he's chopped it right across into the lap of the last person you want to give it to, Jacob Thompson. And, yeah, when it's your debut, you don't necessarily want to be doing that, but good to see his teammates get around him and just make sure that he's not feeling too upset. But Jacob Thompson, now an opportunity to convert on his third, right in front. One of the easier kicks he'll take all season and all afternoon. Pops it through for a goal. So 5 unanswered goals here for 2Ls. They now move out to 5-1-31 on the Sportal scoreboard. 2 straight for Anglevale.
I think the idea was right there from young Broey, but the execution obviously let him down, which seems to be the way in our reserves a little bit this year, especially the second, well, actually a lot of games this year, unfortunately. We've been in games and we've just let ourselves down, turned the ball over when we've done all the hard work.
So, after a really positive start for Anglevale, 2Ls, as they're expected to do at really any point of the game, have really turned it on. And the Roosters, at the moment, as it goes through the hands of Carter, soccering off the ground is the vice-captain in Barnett, turning his way through the contest. Not quite able to get it away. I think that was Pelliconi there under the contest. Yep. Warnaker now around it. And quickly tackled there is Jaden Rudiger. So back in a dangerous position. About 35 out from the Roosters' goal. Rucks will go at it. Thompson just thumps it. Another 10 or 15 metres or so. That won't be called a mark, even though he did grab it off the kick. Didn't go far enough. Rudiger underneath the contest just gets it out the back. Mitchell's there. Sekafine trying to pick it up. Did well not to catch him high there, Anglevale defender. Moves it out through hand now, a bit of space to hack towards goal, but just fading away through for a behind. So the second behind here for 2Ls, now out to a 20-point margin on the Sportal scoreboard. As they go retreat the ball there, there's a bit of a gap, a bit of a paddock there behind the goal between the ground and the cemetery. Takes a bit of time to retrieve the ball. So the 17s though are looking good. I haven't actually had a chance to find out what the 17 score was earlier in the day, but they're a side for Anglevale that could feature in finals as well.
They definitely will. They started off, 2Ls started off on fire. I think it was 5-0 in the first quarter. And our senior Colts came back and won. Yeah,
there you go. So both that possibly a grand final matchup as well.
I would suspect so.
Yeah, doing well. So an interesting one, and Filming Footy will be covering that on grand final day at Mallala Oval as well, as pack forms here inside forward 50. Umpire takes a little bit of time building some suspense, but just going to ball it up.
Ever the optimist coach, mate. I still hope we were there on grand final day.
Hey, who knows what will happen? Like I said before, footy's a funny game, but if you're not there on grand final day, there will be a seat next to me. As
done.
We go inside
Sold.
50, done. There we go. That way you can get in for free. Handball at the back of the contest. Rudiger now. Mitchell. They now move it. Look at Mitchell just rip his way through. Rathman now. And this looks good from Anglevale, but they just need to finish off this play. Centre wing over the top. They have the runners going onto it. Picking it up with one hand and quickly getting tackled over the boundary. But it was positive ball movement there. They took the game on, Anglevale.
Yeah, it's the best bit of play I've seen so far, which is good. That forward handball that we've been trying to practice.
Led by the captain in Lachlan Mitchell, always has a crack. So hurling it in front, Mason just has to hack it onto his boot. It's only going to move laterally, and a good mark sitting underneath it for the Roosters. So a chance to go back through the middle of the ground. He immediately looked there, Humphries. Moves his way across and finds another uncontested mark, as that's the quarter-time siren. What started as a good start there for the Owls. Got the first 2 goals of the contest, but 2Ls just stabilised and put their foot on the gas. Now out by 20 points. 5-2-32 to 2 straight 12 on the Sportal scoreboard. You're watching live and filming footy. We'll be back with the second quarter in a moment. Round 15 of the Adelaide Plains Footy League here. We're the match of the round, of course, Two Wells hosting Anglevale. And what's been an interesting first quarter. My name's Lewis McKenna, bringing you all the action. Of course, joined by Source, the reserves coach for Anglevale, and he's going to be bringing us some special comments throughout this game as well. But they got out to if you've just joined us late, they got out the first 2 goals of the game for Anglevale coming through Josh Carter and Isaiah Glancy, co-captain, and they were really looking positive in the first 5 minutes, but 5 straight goals to Two Wells, 3 of those coming from Jacob Thompson. They just got on top, Source.
Yeah, like we said in the first quarter, they just seem to have another gear. They just sort of cruise along, do what they do, and then when they need to, they just step it up. Yeah. They're an unbelievable side.
They don't panic at all.
Not at all.
Some sides would, maybe go down by a couple goals and see some of the warning signs and maybe fold under a bit of pressure. I mean, I'm a Port Adelaide fan, so I know that all too well at the moment, unfortunately. But
same.
We'll move away from that. Handball over the top, Mitchell. Now inside forward 50 here for Anglevale. He gets a little kick on it, gives his forward a chance. I think that's Glancy sitting underneath it. Oh, it is Tahana, in fact. So very nice man Joey Tahani come up and said hello and shook our hands before the game, but gets a chance to pop through a goal, and it'll be a really important one in the first minute of this second quarter, just to give themselves an opportunity to get back into the game.
He'll kick it.
A lot of confidence coming from Source, and it was an easy kick in the end, 25 metres out, straight in front, so Joey Tahana in for his first goal of the game. Back to 14 points on the Sportal scoreboard. And they've been accurate in front of goal at least. I mean, I was speaking about it just before you come on air. 3 goals 14 last week versus Balaclava Source, so 3 straight's a good sign to start.
Yeah, last week was, I don't know what happened. We just could not kick a goal.
Yeah.
Just struggled so hard. Had plenty of opportunities, let it slip, and it was a last chance for us, I suppose, to make the finals.
There's a mathematical chance?
No. That's why we've got 4 reserves guys and 3 under 17s out there, because we just haven't got any opportunity. So we're playing for nothing.
So the vice captain out of the middle off a free kick here, moves it across to Sekafine, but just missed on the kick. We'll give it back to Mitchell. There's a free kick on the last touch there by the Roosters. As they move the ball up the wing and intercepted here. So I think that's Hayden on the outer side.
Lots of SANFL experience there.
Absolutely there is. Wise. So my first chance to actually watch Dylan Wise in action. He actually was my co-commentator last time I was here. He had a week off. And they can afford to do that sometimes too well. Slattery, little handball over the top. Warnicky off his boot. Now close to the boundary, and eventually escorting it over was Tyson Harris. So we'll have to keep an eye as well on our player of the game. There's been a few players that have stood out. I've been really impressed with Lockie Mitchell, I've mentioned for Anglevale early. Sekafine's been really busy for 2 wells as well. As a snap towards goal, Thompson's here at the back. Just keeps it in play. They have to soccer it off the ground, and it is going to be touched through for a minor score. So behind there through for 2 wells. Now moves them out to a 15-point advantage. As they go quickly, the Owls over the top. Oh, good grab. They're going to pay it. He juggled around a little bit. Maybe didn't hold it long enough, but we'll pay it. Harrison Devlin with the mark.
That was a mark.
Yeah. That's very generous, Source. So, out of side to Dart. Short little kick over the top. Pellizzari has space to go inside forward 50. Pulls it a little bit. Thompson sitting underneath it. Could have taken the mark there in defence. And Harris now has the ball. We had a bit of space to try and get it out, but 2 wells are arguing that it should have been a free kick for not making any genuine attempt to get it out, but eventually goes over the boundary line instead.
They've probably got a case, I reckon.
So in front right, picks it out to Mason, trying to burst his way through the tackle. Just popped it straight up in the air as Luke Barnett is wrapped up by Rudiger. And they'll set it up again. So once again, Thompson, huge fist into the goal square. Now at the back of the contest, ball still in dispute. It's just gone right over the other pocket now, and it's going to be balled up once again. So Thompson down in front. Barnett couldn't quite get it. Mason just gets a ball out the back of the contest. Didn't go far enough. Having to snap around the body, and that did go far enough. So in fact, it's actually Sean Smith now. Yeah, it was questionable as to whether that went 10 or not, but they're going to say it did. So Sean Smith with 10 goals on the season, looking to respond fairly quickly to Anglevale's goal, start this second quarter. For his first this afternoon, Sean Smith puts it through. So Smith responds with a goal. So on the Sportal scoreboard, now 39-18. It just gives, Sean Smith just gives 2 wells that other target up forward. You've already got the likes of Thompson, Slattery's up there as well. When you've got those sorts of forward source, it just really helps to, Sean Smith has 11 goals now on the season. Slattery has 10 goals on the season. They have their midfielders like Barnett, Wise, with 29 and 20 respectively. They just can kick them from anywhere.
Yeah, there's not one weak spot across the ground for them.
So Barnett all the way across the ground and Edmeade up at the footy. He's got 41 goals as well, it must be said. Inside forward 50, brilliant kick lacing out Slattery. So it doesn't look confident to have a go. Looks to quickly pop it up to the top of the square. One-on-one here, Thompson out the back. Did well in the end to not let him get there. Rudiger now escorting it over the boundary line.
Jacob McKay playing very well on him, actually.
Yeah, he is. He
giving away a bit of height and size.
Held his ground quite well there. And they really haven't seen him move too far out of 25 metres, Thompson. He doesn't really need to. But he's done well. Even though he's kicked 3, he's still won a couple possessions there as he hacks it out of defensive 50. Long ball here as a pack forms. Rathman couldn't take the mark over the top. The Roosters now move the ball by hand. Humphrey just stops, props, and pops one inside forward 50. It's Pelizzari leading his way up at the footy. Couldn't quite take it. Handballs it off to Barnett. On his right foot, just pops it up. That's Pelizzari, in fact, now underneath it. Under the contest here, trying to get it out. I think that's the debutant in the contest there. In fact, that's Jesse Burns.
Jesse Burns, yeah.
Yeah. So, just about, or just inside the paint of 50. Right, taking it out of the ruck, quickly jumped upon by a couple Roosters. So Slattery also in the ruck, knocks it down in front. Barnett gets the handball out. Sekafine, extra handball across. They come back to Sekafine now. Has to wheel around onto his left boot, inside forward 50. Nearly took the mark in defence. Mitchell now with a bit of space to retreat. Goes long up to his co-captain. One-on-one contest here. Did well. Glancy just knocked it out in front of himself. Now has to beat out Humphreys. Marshall, handball over the top into space. Now going to work its way close to the boundary and eventually over. So good work there from Anglevale to retreat.
Just realised I was actually supposed to be runner for the A grade. They've got someone somewhere, right?
Yeah, you've found a warmer. Oh, I mean, you would have been fairly warm out there running, but you've found a nice spot just in case it drizzles later. It looks pretty clear now, but you get to watch the game still. Right. We've got a decent vantage point up here. If there's anything you want to say, you can just yell it out. So now back inside forward 50 here for 2Ls. And sitting underneath it, there's your man once again. McKay did well.
He's been doing great. Great job on him. Still reckon that... Oh, that's...
Yeah,
we
right
just
on
wrap
cue.
a bloke up and then he does that.
Just sprayed it and goes over the boundary. So Pelizzari will get the kick from about 60 metres, obviously too far out to score. Pops it in front. That's Edmeade sitting underneath it. Couldn't quite take the mark. Goes again with a fend off. Gets the handball out eventually. Pops onto the left boot towards goal. I think he's maybe just snuck it through. He has. Brilliant kick from Rainbreck once again. That's his second of the afternoon. Brilliant work there by Edmeade as well to set that goal up. So 45-18 now on the Sportal scoreboard. They've just moved ahead now to a 27-point advantage as Rainbreck converts.
You see they work really hard for each other. Doesn't matter where the ball is in the forward line. They just spread really well. Always somebody finding themselves into space. Sets up goals like that.
So hurled back up in the middle once again as the ruckman will go at it. Knocked down in front and 2Ls get the clearance out. I think that was Rainbreck once again in the middle. In fact, it wasn't. So over the top of the contest. A little handball out here from Mitchell. Carter has to try and work through. Didn't quite get any clean possession away, but free kick's been paid anyway. Look to play on quickly. Has a shot on goal. Thompson now sitting underneath it. Can easily pop through a goal. Unfortunate there for Lachlan McKay. And he's clutching at his leg here. Looks to be in a lot of pain. I don't know if he's clutching at his leg or his hand. But yeah, he's got up now. Looks as if he's maybe hurt himself on the way down. But the fourth goal through for Jacob Thompson. And now all of a sudden out to 33 points. At the 6-minute mark of the first quarter, it was a 2-goal advantage to Angle Vale. Since then, they've absolutely turned it on. 51-18 on the Sportal scoreboard. What a Angle Vale. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? McKay's won some one-on-one contests, but of course Thompson's got 4 goals. You know, what do you think they do? Is there anything else they can do in defence to try and switch onto him? Just try and stop his influence on the game?
I don't really know what else to do. Like, we don't have enough height.
Out the back here, Thompson has it once again on cue. Looks to hand it off. Harris, a little handball out. Ed Mead snaps around his body. I think he's put it through for another goal. So they go again. Ed Mead through for his first goal of the afternoon. 42 on the season, mind you. 57-18. And if he's not kicking goals, Thompson, he's setting them up.
Yeah, well, he's a big unit. He's hard to move, so
Yeah.
it looks like he's a little bit slow and proppy on that knee.
Yes.
But he's come back, he's playing, but somebody that big, and with us not having anybody anywhere near his size to go with him, he's going to be a handful.
Yeah, for sure.
Lockie McKay's been pretty good on him so far. He's leading him to the ball,
Yeah.
so if he can get out in front and keep him from getting it, it's all right, but they kick in long and high.
So Mitchell gets it, and they get a chance to go inside forward 50. Just beats Mason. Mason and Slattery now going one-on-one at it. Snapping around his body towards goal, has just pulled it across the face through for a minor score. But positive play out of the middle there from Angle Vale. They're first
Much better.
behind. Absolutely. So Mason couldn't quite convert, but they get a chance to try and lock it up in their forward end of the ground, the Owls. So now out of the back line. Little short ball there, nearly intercepted by Maynard. They move the ball by hand though. And they do get it out to Harness. A long high ball up there, wing. Slattery couldn't quite take the mark, neither could Warnaker. Slattery as well getting the handball out. Now a big ball inside forward 50. Trying to climb over the top was Harris. It didn't actually get a hand on it. So free kick to the Owls. So Rudiger, good smother there from Harris. So it'll be hurled back in once again. The Angle Vale Guernseys as well, mate. I might be putting you on the spot here. I don't know if you know anything about them, but they look fantastic. Of course, the Indigenous Guernseys here this afternoon.
Yeah, it is Indigenous round for us, so we obviously have worn it across the club today.
Brilliant as Ed Mead takes a mark inside forward 50. We'll get another opportunity here. We'll have to kick it from about 50 metres, but the Angle Vale's Guernsey's striking. Beautiful Guernsey on display. So, a prolific goal scorer, Caleb Ed Mead. Just kicked a goal a moment ago. Kicks it from about 49 metres. Doesn't quite get the distance covered. Gets knocked down in front. Ball's still in a little bit of danger here as Wright's wrapped up in a tackle. In fact, Wright was the tackler. So, in the forward pocket here, it'll be hurled back up. It's Thompson and Wright, but probably both holding onto each other there. So, umpire says play on and eventually goes over the boundary. In fact, actually, it's going to be a ball up close to the boundary line. Neither ruckman able to get onto it once again as Rathman's working his way onto the ball, but through for a minor score. So 58 plays 19 on the Sportal scoreboard. Back out to that equal game high, 39 points. As they go a long ball here to the broadcast side. Eventually picking it up and trying to get it over. They do keep it in eventually. He did have a hand free. Did Lachlan Franklin, but umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Pellizzari goes in the ruck with no one against him, hands it off to Wise. Wise now with a bit of space to go inside forward 50, waiting for someone to sit underneath it. I think that was McKay just running straight at the footy, trying to get the hands off, but intercepted there by Ed Mead. Now in the contest and wrapping up in a tackle quickly there was Harris. Balled up once again. Once again, neither ruckman getting to the footy. Happened 3 times in the last couple of minutes as playing on quickly was Rathman. Just pumps the ball to the outer side. Now this is right behind the tents for us, so I have to stand up and try and get a good look at what's going on. Ball's in dispute. Slattery picks it up, moves it out through hand, and Two Wells are able to work their way back out. Glancy's there amongst it. They move the ball out through TJ Williams. Comes back into the corridor, but Barnett sitting right underneath it's able to take the mark. They go through the middle of the ground, and the Roosters have some space to go now. Smith, a long ball. Harris is sitting underneath this. Got a hand on it there underneath. Gets the handball out to Slattery. Has to try and get a boot onto it. Now Rudiger there amongst it. They run into each other, Mackay and Rudiger. Handball over the top. Humphries is there, as is Harris. Gets smothered by Wright. Carter working his way onto the ball. Humphries is there for the Roosters. Wrapped up in a Lockie Mitchell tackle. And called for holding the ball. Well done by Anglevale to not concede a goal there.
He's going to torp it. Oh, he's gone.
Jeez, that is a fair kick right up to the wing. He was standing at about 25 metres out from goal. Right to centre wing. There's going to be a free kick to Hayden, but a little bit for the spectators to celebrate there as Barnett through the middle of the ground. Now move it across. Barnett now back onto it, gets the 1-2. Now to the paint of 50. Little trickling ball inside, and Humphries takes the mark. Nearly played on there. But Jamie Humphries with 11 goals this season.
That was really good footy again from Two Wells. Didn't panic, just used that short kick, made the right decision moving forward. He could have blazed away, but just hit up the target, and unfortunately, young fella didn't finish off.
So pulled it right across for a behind. But they keep peppering at the goals here. Two Wells now out to a game-high 40-point advantage on the Sportal scoreboard. 59 plays 19. Chance to, of course, thank our APFL partners, Viswater, Sports Powers Orange Group, Sharon, Belgravia Apparel, Synergy Signs, Mango Inc., McCracken Ford, Balaclava, and the Plains Producer as it goes out of bounds, and the Roosters will get a chance to go back inside forward 50 off the last touch. Short little ball into Humphries. Well done there by Glancy to close and just almost win the ball away, but ball up here at centre wing. Right in the ruck, knocks it down. Trying to get a bit of play out the back of the contest here, the Owls. Ripping his way through the contest was Mitchell. Just trundles the ball out the back of the contest. Devlin picking it up and moving it out wide, and Humphries now has been busy in the last few minutes. Short little ball. Handball over the top. Wise comes back into the corridor. Humphries again. Extra handball across to Devlin. They're working this well. Wise now all the way across to Hayden. They go quickly. Over the top, Palazzari. Sees a bunch of Roosters up ahead of him, as well as ours, so has to pop one up inside forward 50, and a good mark taken in defence.
Tyson Harris,
the vice-captain. So kick over the top. Gets punched down in front. Williams is there amongst it for the Anglevale. Handball out the back there for Harris and Smith. The ball stays live here. Humphries, Wise once again. They were involved in the play a couple minutes ago, and a bullet of a pass across the ground to Sekafine. Hawks his player. Sells some candy. Goes inside forward 50, looking for Thompson once again. Couldn't quite take the mark, so well done there. I think that was Lockie McKay once again.
It was.
It's as good of a game as you can call it for a player where you have 4 kicked on you. He's doing all right, isn't he?
It's probably our second best on ground at the moment,
it's
even though he has had the 4 kicked on him.
It's weird.
It is.
Palazzari got smothered, so Carter's got a little bit of space to get the ball and handball it over the top to Williams. So now they get to work. Bennett Penrose just goes up the wing, but Two Wells have the numbers and the space to take the mark through Franklin. And they're set up so well through the middle of the ground. Sekafine once again. Barnett. They almost work their way back into the middle of the ground every time, Source. They just set up. They know exactly where to be when they get that intercept.
Yeah, absolutely well-drilled side. That's why they're going to go for 5 premierships in a row.
Rudiger intercepts. Rathman, handball across to Hana. Rudiger still working hard. On the left boot, just moves it across to Mitchell. Composed player, Lockie Mitchell. Just bombs the ball. come off a little shallow. Joby Maynard now having to go to work and scrap against Harrison Devlin. So on the paint of 50, Slattery will go up against Mason in the ruck. Mason with the back of the fist. Only went as far as Sekafine and now to Hayden. Doesn't really have anywhere to go. His vice-captain in Barnett works hard.
But you see again there, he just didn't panic, held the ball up and waited for someone to get to the right spot. And that's just what they do so well.
On his left boot, if you don't mind, Barnett trying to find Ed Mead inside forward 50. Couldn't quite take the mark. Gets knocked down inside. Picking it up off his feet there, Bennett Penrose. And a few cries there. Not happy with the tackle.
Well, the way it's been going this year, that should have been a sling tackle. They've called free kicks for less than that.
Carter quickly wrapping up Barnett in the tackle, so not going anywhere. So 21 and a half minutes gone in this second quarter. Sekafine trying to get the handball underneath, but intercepted well there by Harris. Getting a little trundling ball out the back there to Williams. Marshall, in fact, Rathman trying to break through. Did well to compose himself. Got a handball over the top there trying to find Maynard, but Dart eventually escorting it over the boundary. There's some positives for Anglevale. They've got some youngsters. Williams is one I've been really impressed with in the games I've called for Anglevale this year as well. There's some players out there they can really build a future upon. So, kick over the top to Sekafine. Comes up a bit short. Rathman wears a big bump, but ball goes nowhere and looks as if there was a bit of contact below the legs. In fact, it looked like they signalled as taking a bit of time to get up here is Pelliconi. So, Joel Pelliconi from the half.
Got nothing to kick to, just have to go down the line to a contest.
Yeah, has to go long and high as a pack forms underneath. Slattery not able to take the mark, comes in front. Mason just ripping his way through the tackle. Handballs the ball out in front and running straight onto it is Jackson Ashford. Still fighting hard against Dart. Goes crashing to the ground, Dart, but good enough to stay with it and move the ball out wide. They go through the middle of the ground over the head of Ed Mead. Mitchell's there amongst it as well. Ed Mead gets the handball out and they stay with it here, the Roosters. Humphreys goes ripping through the contest. Rudiger trying to rip it away. Warnaker had a couple goes at it, couldn't quite pick it up. Still crashing through. Pelliconi's there amongst it once again. And it's going to be a stoppage inside forward 50. They just surge the ball forward at any cost, two wells, and they do it well. You saw Humphreys there ripping through a couple contests. He's been impressive in this second quarter as well, it must be said. There's Mitchell now with a bit of space out the back. Thumps a long ball. He's done that a couple times this quarter through the middle of the ground. Wasn't really to any of his players' advantage. So they get the ball back here, the Roosters, as Devlin finds Pelizzari. So has an option to his left and his right. He goes right to Slattery. Short ball is good. They move the ball by hand. Binion gets tackled well by Rathman. Brilliant tackle by Jay Rathman as they play on quickly to Mason. Has to pop an awkward kick on his boot. They quickly go. Handball off to Williams. Goes out wider to Maynard. Couldn't quite pick it up. Dart was closing. Williams is there amongst it as well for the Owls, but Dart now. The Roosters retreat. Probably a little too easy there, Sauce.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're going to be when you're a little bit fumbly and allow the pressure to be on and try and do everything while you're under pressure.
So going inside forward 50, they got the advantage from the free kick. They now have an opportunity. I think that might have been Carter there. In fact, it wasn't. But they do get a chance now, snapping around the body through Glancy, but through for a minor score. So second behind of the game there for Anglevale. The last few minutes of this game, I must be said, I think they've been a little more positive with their ball movement. They've been going in that little bit harder.
Yeah, they have. The intensity's there and the effort's there. It's just that the skill execution isn't quite there. It was very similar to our reserves. So
there's one question I've got to ask you, and again, I'm sure you would know, but Jack Jack Pisano was one that got injured earlier in the season. I didn't quite find out exactly what happened to him, but he's obviously not involved at the moment.
No, he's had knee surgery, so he's
Okay.
had a reconstruction on one knee and a clean out on the other.
Yeah, there you go.
So he's walking around in a bit of a brace, and we're calling him Forrest Gump at the moment, the way he's walking.
Because he was a really important player, arguably your most important player earlier in the season, as Thompson once again taking the mark. There was a little bit of an argument there as a bit of off-ball contact. Lachlan McKay, as Thompson gets an easy set shot here, right in front, 30 metres out, and try and convert on his 5th of the first half.
He's probably got a case here, Lachlan.
Yeah, I
he
think
just
he
sort of got thrown out of it. We'll have a look at the replay here.
Yeah, little
Maybe,
bit of
maybe not.
contact.
Ticky touch.
So benefit of the doubt going to the forward. And there's been a 25 paid, maybe still having a word to say.
I would suggest that's exactly what it's for.
Just wanted to make his point known. Probably thought he's going to kick it anyway, so I might as well share my opinions as Thompson pops through his 5th. And his 38th of the season as well. He missed a few games through the middle of this year. And they now move out to a game-high 45-point lead. 65, plays 20 on the Sportal scoreboard. Nearing the end of this first half, 26 and a half gone. He is just a force to be reckoned with, Jacob Thompson. They'll want to find any team that comes up against him. No doubt it'll be Malala in the first week of finals. They'll really want to find someone that can just keep him to 4 goals, I'd say, would be a win. So, back in the middle once again, and 2 wells. They're bombing the ball inside forward 50 as the siren will beat them. Carter takes the mark anyway. But half-time, 10-5-65 for the home side, 3-2-20 for Anglevale. After kicking the first 2 goals of the game, it's got a little tricky for them here at Two Wells Oval. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back with all the second half action here on Filming Footy. Welcome back to Two Wells Oval here, the APFL Match of the Day presented by Filming Footy. Of course, brought to you by Dartfish as well. And see there on the scoreboard, it's been a really dominant display here from Two Wells, probably since about 5 or 6 minutes into the first quarter. It was Anglevale with the first 2 goals, but they've absolutely turned it on, 10-1 since then, and 5 of those coming from the full forward in Jacob Thompson, of course the reigning male medalist, just dominating at the moment. We'll go through the goal scorers quickly. My name's Lewis McKenna. I'm joined by Source as well, his special comments. 5 goals for Jacob Thompson, leading the way. 2 for Dylan Rainbreck, 1 for Caleb Edmead, 1 for Sean Smith and Shannon Slattery. And the goal scorers here for Anglevale, and I've just realised I think I've missed one, but Isaiah Glancy's got 1, Josh Carter's got 1, and I can't remember who's got the other one, but we'll find out. But,
Joey Tahana.
Joey Tahana, you're 100% right, so I forgot to pop a mark down next to his name. Thank you, Source, saving the day. But, they've had flashes, they've had moments, Anglevale, but they're going up against a professional outfit. So, Mason, crashing his way through the contest, comes off his boot to get us underway here in the third quarter. Just tunnels it out to Mitchell, who just pops the ball out in front, and the players have to beat it to the boundary. Rathman working his way onto the footy, couldn't quite pick it up cleanly, neither could Pellizzari. Carter quickly wrapped up in a tackle in front of the Two Wells bench. Anglevale sitting just outside the finals picture, and of course this being the penultimate game of the season, out of the calculations unfortunately, but still playing for a bit of pride here as Mason goes inside forward 50, nearly taking the mark. Over the top there was Maynard, but drew it an even play there. Glancy couldn't quite crack through, so back inside forward 50 to start this third quarter. Knocked down in front there out of the ruck there for Two Wells. Just comes out the back of the contest, and Pellizzari has to try and beat it to the boundary and just escorts it over, so umpire to hurl it back in. So hurled back in once again, maybe a little bit too advantageous to the Two Wells ruckman and Trent Turnbull. And they move the ball out through hand. Barnett working his way through the middle of the ground. Just goes over the top and puts it into space. Warnicky to go onto it, but doesn't get a good bounce. And Pelliconi for the Owls walks around a couple, composes himself well, and goes into Mitchell. Handballs it out to Pelliconi, breaks through a tackle, has to just pop it onto his boot. Couldn't quite get it to Marshall. Mason there's amongst it. Loses it. Handball over the top from Blumpson. Marshall inside forward 50. Looks for the jumpers. Couldn't quite pull it down there. Dart, and maybe hanging on there. So free kick here to Aaron Dart. Positive from Anglevale to start the third quarter. Lockie Mitchell looks hurt.
No, it's TJ. TJ Williams.
TJ, yes, sorry. There's too many medium length hairs with headbands going around.
Yeah, he rolled an ankle a couple of weeks ago, and I reckon he's just re-rolled it again. Same one.
It goes through the middle of the ground as Blumpson picks it off. Has to try and work his way around. Didn't really have anywhere to go, so goes over the top and just through the hands of the debutant there in Jackson Ashford. As the Roosters now retreat. Long up the wing, and they've got some space out the back of this one to get it and go. Marked by Harris, he's got all the space in the world. McKay closing from the left. He has a ping at goals and pops it through just as quick as you like from Two Wells end-to-end footy. And they pop through the first goal of the third quarter through Blake Harris, his 9th goal of the season. And they're straight back into it. We said it, how quick they can just turn it on, and they showed it right there, Source, end-to-end footy.
Yep, very good at it. They seem to be able to always find space, especially when they're moving the ball forward.
It was just a bit of a lapse there to allow Harris that much space. I mean, like, to say he was open was an understatement. He had no one within 30 metres of him and was able to stroll inside forward 50.
Yeah, it's a bit of system, but it's also a bit of work rate too. We sort of got caught going forward and then we just stop, unfortunately, and don't get back and transition properly. So good sides like this will just absolutely cut you up and make you look silly.
So now out to a game-high 51-point margin on the Sportal scoreboard, is wrapped up in a tackle there. As we have past Players' Day as well at Two Wells. A tent over the other side of the club rooms here. They've got the music pumping. The probably a few drinks down by now in the afternoon.
That'll be messy over there in about an hour's time.
Especially once all the resis get involved and some of the A-graders after the game as well, but I'm sure they're drinking responsibly. They're probably not.
I doubt it.
But they're having fun. That's what footy's all about. Blumpton. Now inside, and good kick. So they move the ball across to Marshall, who's got a lot of space to just pick up his drop. Just stop and take a little bit of a bounce, compose himself. And just pops it over the top. Leading his way at the footy was the debutant. Couldn't quite take the mark, Jackson Ashford, and it gets punched over in front of Two Wells' bench.
I think he's finding it a little bit difficult to pick up the pace coming straight from the 17s into A grade.
Knocked down in front, Barnett. Just trying to get out the back of the pack. Ashford there amongst it once again. Just gets pushed away. Now Barnett under the contest. Mason wasn't allowing him to go anywhere. So Ruckman tangling. Neither able to get any meaningful hand down. Sekafine moves it by hand, and Humphreys now. Good handball over to Pellizzari in space. Takes a bounce. Goes with a second now. Looking to go inside forward 50. Goes over the top and couldn't quite put it to Thompson's advantage. Eventually popped through for a minor score. So 52-point advantage now for the Roosters.
Actually surprised they're trying to put it out in front of Thompson. He can't run, and Lockie McKay's doing a great job on him. Why not just put it on his head? Because he's not going to be able to get out marked.
You put it on his head. When the ball's about 10 metres away, he's going to shove away and take the mark every day of the week, as eventually getting punched over the boundary line here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a dead spot here in Two Wells Oval with the marquees in the way. There was a bit of rain about during the reserves. So we'll do our best to call it, even if I can't actually see what's going on. But it is held in now. So Wright knocking it down in front for Two Wells, but Pellizzari has the advantage to go towards goal, but just pulls it across the face through for a minor score once again. So getting it out of the contest easy there for Two Wells. So on the Sportal scoreboard now, 11, I'm trying to see, 11-6, in fact that should be 11-7. The scoreboard here at the ground not quite caught up. So 3-2. So once again, Carter out of the back, can't quite find anything. So goes long down the line with a ruckman sitting underneath this one. Wright nearly pulling it down, but Sekafine sitting underneath it, gets the handball out the back of the contest, not really to anyone's advantage. Williams underneath, Dart now for the Roosters out the back. Moves it by hand, Sekafine well smothered by Mitchell. Now moving close to the boundary line, but the Roosters stay with it and move it laterally. Warnaker wrapped up in a tackle quickly by Noah Barnett. In fact, that was
Lachlan Brown.
Yeah, my bad, I read the wrong team. That's an absolute blooper from me. As Sekafine now at the back of the contest can saunter his way towards goal, but just pulls it across to the right. Another minor score.
I hope you put that on your TikTok page this week.
I better. I've got to include the bad stuff as well. That's shocking from me. I put the logos up the top and everything to try and make sure I don't do that, and it obviously didn't work.
You're only human, mate.
Nah, that's right. Still learning my craft. So, a little longer down the line. He just gets intercepted quickly by the ruckman going inside forward 50 once again. Barnett sitting underneath this. Brilliant kick in the end from the ruckman, and Trent Turnbull just put it in the right spot, and Barnett gets a shot straight in front. They peppered the goals a little bit to start this quarter. 1-3 for Two Wells. Anglevale yet to score. But Barnett, to convert on their second of the quarter, puts it through. He's a brilliant player. And they now move out to a 10-goal advantage. And just keep marching towards finals. This Two Wells side so strong. So 8.5 minutes gone here at Two Wells. A chance to thank Two Wells partners as well. Of course, here at Two Wells Oval today, BTR Excavations, Bendigo Bank, DH Contracting, Freight Master, Goody Services, Hickenbotham Homes, Leighton Property, Olympic Industries, Perfection Fresh, Think Water, Two Wells Motel and Ray White Barossa make it possible to, of course, bring us country footy, and of course this stream here today, live and free on YouTube, filming footy. As we're going to have another stoppage here, 60 metres out from Two Wells goal. So once again, Rucks to go at it. Gets knocked down in front. It's not going anywhere. So I notice Anglevale have got the double black armband on as well. If you wish to share anything, Source, obviously in tribute for someone there.
Yeah, so my fullback and my team manager, so mother and son, her partners and his dad passed away during the week.
Yeah.
And also with Callum, one of his best mates also passed away this week, so he's had a shocking week, unfortunately, the poor lad.
Yeah, that's sad news, but brilliant to have local footy clubs that are able to get around people in these trying times, and obviously, black armbands, and just pay those respects as well. It can mean a lot in a difficult time for people, as Sean Smith has taken the mark inside forward 50 for Two Wells.
Yeah, we've been unlucky the last couple of weeks. DJ is he was my captain the last couple of years. His father passed away last week as well.
Yeah, shocking as well. So Sean Smith pops through the goal. But it's good to see Anglevale get around their people. They do so well, local footy clubs, to do exactly that in trying times. And even just little things, the black armbands can mean so much as well. And another thing they're doing community as well is these brilliant Guernseys they're wearing here this afternoon. Of course, they wouldn't like what's happening on the scoreboard, but of course there's plenty more happening for Anglevale. We spoke about it before. Their under-17s are going quite well and looking like they're shaping well for finals. We'll be calling all the 17s, reserves and A-grade action live from Mallala Oval on September 20th. Be a big day of footy, that one. So back in the middle as Thompson just fists it out of the square. Sitting underneath it, looking to retreat as Jesse Burns goes up the wing. Seems like there's a lot of action going over that tent, Source. Keep hearing a lot of cheers and jeers. They're having a lot of fun over there.
Yeah, some young girls doing a little bit of what would you call it? Just not gymnastics, but cheerleading type stuff.
Yeah, right.
Just getting the cheers by the sounds of it, while the blokes with the alcohol in their hand.
They're absolutely, the music's bumping. I don't think any of them are actually watching the footy, to be entirely honest.
It doesn't look like it.
It just happened to be that they're at a footy oval. So, free kick here to Watts.
It's usually with past players' days. We're always much better back in our day.
That's it. No, that's right. No point watching these guys. I would have put them to bed. As Wise through the middle of the ground. A good kick and a good mark taken by the ruckman in Turnbull. Leading up at the footy. Has Wise rolling around him to go again. So from about 55 metres, pops it up towards goal. Has the distance covered, no problem, but just through to the left-hand side for a minor score. So 87-20 now on the Sportal scoreboard. Wise through for a behind.
And when you're up by that much and you're not getting challenged, you can sort of have those pot shots.
Absolutely.
Instead of playing disciplined footy and looking for a better option.
It's a good goal scorer, Dylan Wise. I mentioned before, kicked plenty of goals this season as well. 20 goals out of the midfield. There's so many valuable players who can just pain on the scoreboard. They're, of course, the number one offence in the league to be expected over the back. And good mark taken here for Two Wells to go back inside. They cut the ball across to Thompson. Haven't seen him go out of that 25-metre range too much here. Obviously pinch hitting in the ruck and swapping with Turnbull on this occasion. So looks to play on and move it out through hand. Rainbreck with a couple goals here this afternoon as well. Hayden hands it off to Wise. Tries to just dance his way through the contest and does well. Handballs it off to Ed Mead. Has some space inside forward 50 to roll in towards goal, but pulls it across through for a minor score.
Unusual to see that from Caleb.
Yeah,
missing from that close.
Had a really good opportunity there to convert, but they still keep growing this game-high lead out to 68 points now. It's a good experience for some of these youngsters here for Anglevale. You said, of course, 2 debutants here this afternoon, a good handful of players as well that have probably played less than 10 games in the A grade, as Rathman with a handball over the top. And here go Anglevale, a little bit of space here, if they can collect the ball. And now go up the wing. I think that was Burns in centre wing, got the kick away. Quickly wrapped up in a tackle. He's one of those players wrapped up. I think that was our debutant in Jackson Ashford in the contest. Slattery knocks it down in front, Barnett. Handball out the back, but Rathman's going to be first to it. Has to try and dance around his opponent. Moves it across and couldn't quite lay the tackle there, Ashford. Barnett with a kick over the top to Slattery. So, has Hayden laterally thought about it for a moment. Now goes a little further up to Barnett, who has space to go. Takes a bounce. A chip kick over the top. Patrick Warnocky now on his left foot. Goes close to goal. As he put it through from the boundary, not quite. Through for another minor score. So, peppering the goals here too well at the moment. They do it too easy from end to end, Source.
Yes.
Sorry, interrupted you having your drink.
No, you're right. I really don't have much of an answer to that. They're just so good. They just do it so well. They do it so easy.
I wish I'd have more Anglevale positives to throw at you, mate, but I've not got a real lot going on at the moment.
No, I understand.
So a little further down the line, Mitchell nearly gave us one right there with trying to take the grab over the top of Palazzari, but it was a good tackle. Bring it back to ground. So, obviously, I'd be completely honest, this is my first year being involved in any way with the APFL, of course, calling games. There is a Team of the Year, I'd imagine, that's announced at the end of the season?
Yes, there is.
Any from Anglevale, or I guess you could talk about Two Wells as well. No doubt they'll have some players involved as Barnett goes roaring inside forward 50. We'll have another shot at goal, thumps into the bottom of the goalpost. So they now break into the 90s with a 70-point lead. But anyone, I guess, for Anglevale that stands out as probably someone that's going to be in that team, I'd say Jaden Rudiger would be penciled in pretty quickly.
Oh, who knows with who's? I don't even know who's on the selection committee for it, but probably the 2 standouts from us, or 3 maybe,
yep.
Would be Rudiger, Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell would be a sure thing. You would
and possibly Joey Tahana.
Yep.
As a forward pocket or a half forward flanker.
Absolutely.
But other than that, yeah, probably no one's been that consistent.
A good mark taken there by Barnett in the end. Once again finds himself in the right position, not for the first time this quarter. We'll have another crack on goals. So he'll have a chance to convert.
No, I'd suggest, as usual, Two Wells will have quite a few in it.
For sure.
Although with Jacob Thompson missing a fair chunk of the season, he may not get a gig this year, who knows.
So Barnett on his way in. Looks like he's converted a goal straight through the middle. Well, another goal through here for Two Wells. 76-point advantage now. Just incredible considering the swing that's come in this game. To the first 2 goals coming to Anglevale. And now on the Sportal scoreboard, they continue marching along. 96 plays 20. They probably could have converted on a few more opportunities as well. They've peppered the goals with behinds. They've peppered at the goal face with behinds. And, still with a healthy advantage. So you obviously look at the Team of the Year, you'd expect a lot of Two Wells and, of course, Malala players to be in there. No doubt about it as well. You'd expect probably at least, I'm being probably a bit harsh, but 5 at least from Two Wells. I'd probably say closer to 10 players, if we're being honest.
Well, you could be, but
yeah,
he's kicked it the wrong way.
Sekafine.
Well, at least he hit his target from his teammate.
He has kicked it the wrong way. He had me puzzled for a moment there. It's an interesting style of play. They'll get stuck into him for that, no doubt about it, after the game. Palazzari leaves his kick a bit short. Still got the same result in the end. Now off to Franklin, who I've been informed is his 250th game as well, Franklin, for Two Wells. Smith just moves the ball laterally. One-on-one contest, did well to punch the ball to ground. Ball back in dispute here just inside forward 50 for 2 wells. And good tackle there from Lockie Mitchell. Takes Warnaker to the ground. So, beats both ruckman right out the back. Just pops the ball out into space. Working their way onto the football. Did well there, Humphreys, but a good tackle laid, and they'll get a chance to play on quickly. Through the middle of the ground goes Mitchell. Puts it out into space, and Maynard has to work quickly to get it out in front. Had Hayden out in front of him, though, and Binion did well. Dart, and back to Binion. And they quickly go across the other side of the ground. Bit of contact come, but it was all legal. Now into the middle of the ground, and Mitchell picks it up off the bounce, moves it by hand into Mason. Now going in towards forward 50, up towards goal. And they allow it to bounce eventually over the boundary. In fact, no, didn't touch it, so it's going to be last kick. As it's intercepted here by Williams. So, looks as if he's going to give it a crack. The opportunities in this third quarter have been rare for Angle Vale. I've done this a few times here this season. Has he got the distance?
Yeah, he probably should. Not accuracy, though.
In fact, he pops it up closer to the top of the square, gets knocked down in front. Barnett, a risky kick across. Rathman's there amongst it. Mason's there as well, just fumbles the ball down in front. Maynard come crashing through, knocking bodies to the ground. Slattery, Thompson, big handball back towards goals. Gets smothered. Did come off hands, I thought. I heard a couple noises. But
sounded like it.
Yeah, maybe not. Marked by Slattery in defensive 50. Just pops a little kick out in the middle, and they get on their legs once again. Over the head. Smith's there. Peliconi's also there for Angle Vale. Tried to barge his way through the tackle, but did well there, Harris, to wrap him up. We've seen that so often, that slingshot just straight out of defensive 50. You blink and they're right up the other end of the ground.
Yeah, they just do it so well.
So, knocked down in front. No player able to get too much of an advantage as Sekafene's wrapped up in a tackle from Harris. So, out 40 metres out from Two Wells' goal. Right. Just punches at 5 metres, but Smith gets smothered. Carter's there amongst it. And the umpire will take it back once more. Well, thank you to our stream partners as well who make it possible to bring this stream to you today. Dartfish, of course, filming footy is where you're watching it live and free as the ball's knocked free here and Angle Vale trying to get out of the contest. Sportal Scoreboard, Classic Clashes, filming footy. Archie's, of course, the player of the game here this afternoon will win a pair of Archies and a beanie by ORTC. High Five E-Bikes and Kimberley Accommodation Group as Sekafene inside forward 50. Trying to find someone as a good marks taken there in defence by McKay. Been certainly one of the better players for Angle Vale here this afternoon.
Yeah, he's had a good couple of weeks, actually. He's been in our best players maybe the last 2-3 weeks.
Absolutely well deserved as Watts trying to get the handball out. Umpire circling around. So it looks as if he was dumped over the boundary line. In fact, not quite. So just inside, they're going to hurl it back up. Wright and Thompson in the ruck. Mason just flicks it out the back of the contest, trying to rip his way through and get the handball away. There was Devlin. Didn't quite get it too far, but they stay with it here. Binion just pops it on his boot. A high ball into a little bit of space here inside forward 50. Not able to take the mark, though, knocking it down in front. Harris sits on top of the ball and is quickly wrapped up by Trent Turnbull. So, the penultimate round of APFL as there's a free kick paid here in the ruck contest against Turnbull to Wright. We'll have one more final round game next week. That's going to be at Angle Vale again. So, no doubt, if you want a gig next week again, Source, it's all yours if you want it.
Sold.
Sold, there we go, brilliant. I'm glad you didn't have to think about it too much. So they move it across, just through hands, and breaking through. Did well there, the vice-captain in Blumpson, but turns the ball over through the middle of the ground. They go out wider to Hayden with a little bit of space. 60 from home, pops the ball inside, brilliant kick to Ed Mead. A little bit too much room for Caleb Edmead, prolific goal scorer. He gets a chance from straight in front. So,
just clever footy again there by David Hayden. Just to weigh up his options, not panic with it, kick it too long. He's just waited for Caleb to get in the right spot, and here you go, sunshine. Have that and kick a goal.
Absolutely, pops through his second of the afternoon. 43 on the year for Edmead. Just keeps it rolling here and keeps the scoreboard ticking over. Now to 15-12, 102 on the Sportal scoreboard, 3-2-20. Anglevale yet to score here in this third quarter. We're late in this one as well. And after such a positive start, of course, it was probably not to be expected that they would come away with a win here this afternoon, but certainly hoping for a little bit more fight in the contest. They've had their moments. Some of their better players have stood up. The likes of their co-captain in Mitchell has been fantastic, must be said, but certainly have struggled in some places. They're such a complete team too well. So back in the middle, Thompson in the ruck against Wright, as there's been a free kick paid here to Wright. So they do have a chance to go inside forward 50. As all the jeers you hear off camera, if you have just joined us in the last few minutes, past Players Day here at Two Wells, I think it's fair to say that the Two Wells bars making their money's worth today. So Tahana inside forward 50, looking for the leapers over the top. Couldn't quite pull down the mark. Thomas Watts leaping over, but maybe giving away a free kick there. So this is Binion in defensive 50 for the Roosters. Just chips it across to Pellizzari. Chipping ball across and Slattery taking the mark. So Declan Slattery goes a 1-2. Now Pellizzari. A lot of space, sends his players to go further back, looks at Edmead, couldn't quite pull down the mark, still fighting for it, Caleb Edmead, gets up to his feet, turns around, pops the ball inside forward 50, and Smith taking the grab, rolling into open goal for another one. So now an 88-point margin, and it's just been a procession here, especially in this third quarter. So another goal put through. And this time to Smith once again. So not his first goal. He's now got 2.
How many pairs of thongs can you give away?
I've got 2 in my bag, but
you're going to need another 19, mate.
They haven't had anyone that's had a bad game. I think you're 100% right. They're all just standing up, aren't they?
Well, the thing is, there hasn't really been any standouts. It's just they're such a complete unit that you can't even pick a best player out of them because they're all doing their job and playing their role to perfection.
Absolutely,
I think Lockie Mitchell's standing out for us and Lachlan McKay down at fullback, but and maybe Isaiah Blumson. But other than that, like no one's really standing out for Two Wells. They're just doing complete demolition.
Yeah, it's been hard to watch for an Anglevale supporter or personality as now falling out the contest. Warnocky picking it up, confidently working his way through along the boundary line. A whistle's now been blown and looks as if the umpire says it's going to be a free kick. Trying to see what way he's paid it. He's still having a conversation, but looks
he's paid it towards Caleb, but I think it was after disposal.
Yeah, it was. So Edmead will have another crack at goal. Trying to convert on his third goal of the afternoon. Mark
it down.
I do have a book in front of me, but I reckon every time I've written it down before they've actually put it through, they've missed. So I'm going to give it a sec. But Edmead on his right foot, and he's missed. Ooh. So he has put it through.
There you go. I'll put the mockers on him. I'll take that.
I do write down the behinds anyway, so I probably would have been safe to do so. But now out to an 89-point margin on the Sportal scoreboard, 109-20. Two Wells just flexing their muscle, of course. If you're new to the APFL, they've won 4 premierships in a row, and this year they're currently undefeated. Their final game of the year will be at Balaclava. Balaclava will be playing finals as well, but of course they'll go into favourites in that one as well. So just spilling the mark in defence, but McKay's able to clear. Goes over the top, Blumpson sitting underneath it, couldn't quite take the mark. Mason now moves it through hand. But the Roosters, they have the numbers. Go back inside forward 50, a high ball. Warnocky underneath this one, as is Thompson. And goes over the boundary. So Anglevale to get the ball back. Has Williams to switch across the other side. Sees an option. Goes over the top and trying to find it, but that'll bring us to three-quarter time. I think that siren is exactly what Anglevale wanted to hear. 16-13, 109 to 3-2-20. You're watching live and free on Filming Footy, of course on YouTube. We'll be back with all the fourth quarter action to finish this one off.
And again,
Final
match up with height and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. No, you're all right. We're back on air here, Sauce. We're
Sorry,
ready to
mate.
crack in. I'll let you save all the conversation for all of the on-air stuff as well. But back on air here at Filming Footy, ready to watch the final quarter of Two Wells and Anglevale. And, yeah, it's been, you see the scoreline come up on your screen in a moment, 109 to 20. It's been a tricky afternoon here for Anglevale. But as you mentioned previously, Sauce, of course, blooding a lot of youngsters. We've got two under-17 debutants here playing for the Owls as well. So, maybe it's just a little target even just to win the quarter, get a couple more goals on the board as Mitchell goes inside forward 50 for the Owls once again. I reckon if I'm right, I reckon they've had the first forward 50 entry every single quarter of this game, Angle Vale, right out the middle.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the first quarter, but certainly the last 3 quarters, definitely.
Yeah. So they've proven that they can come out of the huddle and crack right in. I reckon it's probably been Lachie Mitchell every single time as well, unsurprisingly.
More than likely.
So, did go out of bounds though. Hayden from the back pocket. Blumson nearly taking the mark, but Barnett rips through. Just pops a kick over the top. Warnicker couldn't take it. Now Barnett comes back, gets the handball from Smith, takes a couple bounces, and now a third. Now 4 going inside forward 50. Pops one over the top. Slattery couldn't quite take the mark. Barnett's still there. He's worked his way all up the other end of the ground. Carter got ripped down and eventually over, and you can see Barnett on his haunches. He'd be buggered after that.
Yeah, he's always going to get back to the fall of the ball. You kick it 15 metres. That's how you do it.
That's it. Just ran about 120 metres up the whole length of the ground. Handball off. Mitchell moves it out wide. And now Anglevale with a little bit of space. Go long down the wing to a contest out the back. Comes off hands. Trying to pick it up there is Harrison Devlin at the back of the contest, but the Owls do stay with it. Now picking it up and moving across laterally. Blumson picks it up off of his shoes. Handball over the top to Mitchell. Now inside forward 50. I think Williams now taking the mark, sitting underneath it. Plays on quickly, sees something inside. Kicks a little too strong and Hayden's able to clean up through Binion. Good tackle now. Hasn't quite got out of trouble yet, the Roosters. Now walking into goal, gets smothered. Still with it here, the Owls. Chance to pop through a goal, and I think he's popped it into the goal post. Right from the goal square. Thomas Watts couldn't quite convert on an opportunity, and I guess it's kind of been a little bit of that afternoon here for Anglevale.
I will serve it up to him later on when we get back to the Anglevale Tavern, but I will let him off too because he has played a full game of reserves prior to this.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So the legs are a bit heavy.
7 quarters through, you're fairly tired legs. So over the top, Hayden intercepted by Williams. He'll snap around onto his left and through for a goal. Well done to the youngster. And a good way to respond. Get the first goal of this 4th quarter. And their 4th goal of the game. Williams is a good player, Source.
We're back.
Absolutely, the comeback's on. But no, it's good to convert there. Williams has been a handy player. His 8th goal of the season, of course, his first of the afternoon as well. But they cut back in a little bit here and make it an 84-point margin on the Sportal scoreboard. 109 plays 27.
Yeah, I suggest Neil would just be saying, you're now playing for pride. It's not get blown out of the water. Just give a last effort. Try and get something out of the game.
Yeah, winning the quarter could be something. I mean, you might not even win the quarter. You know, maybe even just converting on a couple of your opportunities. So 3 minutes into this one, they've done exactly that. They've had a couple cracks at goal. They did convert on one of those. So now working their way out of the contest, but a good tackle there.
No, he's paid it as too high.
Yeah, right. I thought he maybe got him holding the ball, but Humphreys now inside forward 50. Has converted on his opportunity and through for a goal. The celebrations are becoming a little more subdued, so it's hard to tell if they've popped it through or not, but Humphreys converts on a goal and they respond very quickly to Wells. They're now back out to 90 points on the Sportal scoreboard. 115 plays 27. And another goal put through. He's been handy, Humphreys. We speak about the thongs. It's going to take someone to stand out and win those ones, but I thought his 3rd quarter was really impressive as well. So his first goal of the afternoon, 12 for the season. So we've seen that free kick there. What were your thoughts on it? My initial reaction that might have been holding the ball.
Yeah, initially I thought that, but it probably did slip a fraction high late. Yep. So
as Rudiger takes a mark. Been a little quieter than his usual self, Jaden Rudiger, but it's been hard with how the rate the ball's been coming in.
Well, I thought that myself in the last quarter, but I don't think he was on. I didn't see him down in that back line at all.
There you go. So that would explain why he was quiet, if that's the case. So
I didn't look forward, so maybe he was sitting up forward, but we didn't get it up there, so I didn't see it.
Wise now in the middle of the ground. Moves it off through hand and now go back inside forward 50. They see someone open over the top in Edmead. So he'll have a chance to crack in and have another shot on goal. So, goal kickers so far in this one. Jacob Thompson had 5 goals in the first half. He had his hand on a pair of Archie's thongs, but maybe not quite at the moment. Ed Mead has had a brilliant game as well, it must be said, up forward. So now rolling into goal. Doesn't kick it perfectly. Fades across, I think, just through for a minor score. So couldn't quite convert there. Ed Mead on his opportunity. But still out to a 91-point margin. Percentage not really a factor. Well, not really. It's not at all a factor for Two Wells late in this season. Of course, they'll continue their winning ways and stay undefeated. They did just beat Malala by 2 goals a few weeks ago, and they're sitting second on the ladder as Pellizzari takes the mark. Across to Dart. Dart now inside and finds Ed Mead wide open. Just struggling to stay with him at the moment, Source.
Yeah.
Kick over the top and another uncontested mark taken. This time, I believe it's Noah Barnett. We'll get a little bit of distance taken off the kick compared to what Ed Mead had. This one probably have to kick it all of about 45 metres on a very slight angle. So, if Play HQ is telling me correctly, hasn't kicked a goal this season, has it online, and in fact I think he's just pulled it across through for a minor score, so in fact it wasn't online. So another point on the board. 117 plays 27. So now it's a 90-point margin. As the past players are getting stuck into him. Poor fella's down by 90 points and he's got the, the past players getting stuck into him in the goal square.
Sounds like those tinnies have started to kick in.
Mitchell out a little wider. Maynard sitting underneath it, just clears his head. Falls into the contest and now at ground level. Dart trying to clear it out the back of the contest. Still with it, Aaron Dart did well. Handball over the top, Barnett just trickles the ball out. Sekafine, Barnett once again has Sekafine, so they play a little 1-2 action. Go into the middle of the ground. Not quite able to take the mark, had him closing, but able to go in through goal. I believe that was Harness. It was Samuel Harness in for a goal. They're up and about here, Two Wells.
Yeah, it's a bit of playtime now.
Absolutely it is. Playing with their food, unfortunately for Anglevale, it must be said. So Harness in for a goal.
You can see the body language has shifted now.
Yeah.
Heads down, hands on hips. Just hopefully we don't give it up and let Two Wells absolutely roll over. But
yeah,
when you're in front by this far, you've got a lot of energy still. So
yeah, for sure.
And when you're getting smacked like this, the energy's nowhere near it. So it could turn ugly. It's already ugly. Could turn uglier.
So knocking it down in front. The next goal for Two Wells, if Anglevale aren't able to convert on one, we'll see it over 100 points. Going inside forward, 50 was Mitchell once again. Has comfortably been Anglevale's best here this afternoon. Gets intercepted though as Hayden clears. Up centre wing, Warnaker has been handy as well. Over the top, Slattery leading his way up at the foot. He takes a mark in front of Harris. So has Ed Mead in a one-on-one, decided not to go there.
Wasn't even looking at him.
Goes a little wider and just cuts across the middle of the ground. So now Harness.
Training drill here.
Yeah, they're just playing at the moment. They want to move it a little further out through Binion. Has a little bit of room to get to work. Comes back to the middle through Harness. Just pops a kick over the top. Extra handball. Harness, can he go back to back? Inside forward, 50. And just pulls it across through for a minor score. Even the past players are getting stuck into their own at the moment.
As you would.
Absolutely.
This is a walk-up goal.
So behind there for Harness, a 97-point advantage on the Sportal scoreboard. 124 plays 27. So long down the line. Good mark there for Blumpson. Uncontested through the middle of the ground. So they're taking it on still. Comes off the hands of Pellizzari and Dart. They work well. A lot of space here through the middle of the ground. Handball over the top. And they now pop it over to Smith. So So man on the mark, 55 from home. Ball over the top there, through hands. Wright gets the handball away. But the Roosters just get it back once again. Warnaker gets slung to the ground, and it should be a free kick paid, and is. So Rathman maybe just hanging on a little too long. And it'll give Patrick Warnaker a chance to convert on a goal here this afternoon. He's kicked 5 for the season. Will become the 10th goal scorer as well for Two Wells if he's able to convert here. Pretty well straight in front. Man on the mark, stands at about 35 metres. No breeze to speak of here at Two Wells Oval. So on the left, isn't going to quite make the distance, but Edmead got up maybe a little too early. And geez, they're putting on a show right in front of the past players.
They would have talked him into it.
They would have really been in his ear. There's Mitchell now, out of defensive 50. Couldn't quite pull down the mark, but they've got a little bit of space here, the Owls. They go over the top. Blumson sitting underneath it. Hayden cuts it off. Moves it across through Harness. Had a busy fourth quarter. Binion. Humphreys just puts it at his feet, so leaves some work to do. Move it back through the 250th game here in Franklin. Inside forward 50, and Smith takes an uncontested mark. Handball over the top to Edmead. He's able to take a bounce going in towards goal. And I think he's missed.
No.
Oh, in fact, he has put it through for a goal. So they have popped it through and converted. Wasn't sure if he was getting jeered there. They're putting me off as well now. The past players tent over there, but another goal put through for Edmead. His third of the afternoon. And they have broken that 100-point barrier now, out by 103 points. Edmead has just continued to roll. You reckon that's 4 for Edmead?
Is that what you've got marked there?
No, I accidentally put
Sorry.
one. So he has got 3. So 130. They can really pile on the points. Two Wells. They had a big scoring total last week as well. 17-16, 118 against Hummocks. They're doing it once again. Mitchell can hold his head up when he leaves Two Wells Oval later today. Gets intercepted once again. Mitchell will go cracking in as he does every single time. It gets wrapped up.
So there's another centre clearance for us, but we just can't get it deep enough into our forward line to do anything about it.
That wall at the half-back line, they've done so well. Some of those defenders there, they won't get all the accolades, the Two Wells defenders, week in, week out, like the midfielders and the forwards do, but certainly done well, especially holding Anglevale to just 2 goals after probably the first 5 minutes of the game, really. And now a chipping ball inside forward 50 is good to Smith. So they go laterally inside, but Rudiger cuts it off.
See, where's the movement? We've got no movement. We should be spreading much quicker than that.
Yeah, a lot of stagnant, no real movement through the middle. You can see Mitchell working hard though, and it does go over the boundary. You feel bad for Lockie Mitchell. I mean, you just said there's no movement, but I saw one player in an Anglevale Guernsey moving, and it was Lockie Mitchell just fighting hard. He just couldn't get the kick to him, so Barnett moves it across. So man on the mark, about 47 metres. Doesn't look confident to take it on, so from the paint of 50, pops it up towards goal. Thompson out the back. Good body work again. He'll go back and try and convert on his 6th goal. In fact, he will convert his 6th goal.
Mark that one down confidently.
I will confidently put that one down as a goal. But Thompson, I think he just bent down to pick some grass up as well, by the way. I don't know how necessary that is when you're 10 metres out right in front. But he's had some easy ones today, Thompson. But he's earned them by his good body work as well.
And having someone probably a foot shorter on him.
Absolutely. They've had it. You feel bad for the Anglevale defenders. The amount of inside 50s this Two Wells side has had. They now move out to 20 goals, 16, 36 scoring shots to 7 is just an absolute demolishing source. There's no other way to put it.
Well, as I said, I expected it. You can't have 7 players that have previously played a game today coming into your A grade. It's just where we're at, unfortunately, as a club this year. A few injuries late, a couple of blokes on a buck show, which is ridiculous.
So Sure, if they're finding some time in their fun day to watch filming footy, they wouldn't be too happy with the scoreline. Blumson now on his right foot, pumps the ball up towards forward 50. This is where the game's been lost in many places, not all of it, but for Anglevale, 2L's just so easily able to retreat from this exact position, but they're still with it. Mitchell fends off. Now tries to get the ball back. Hung on to, should be a free kick and is. So Lockie Mitchell gets some reward for some hard work. We'll have a set shot here from about 45 metres. Geez, worked hard all day. It's been a hard thing to watch for anyone associated with Anglevale, I'm sure for you as well, but Lockie Mitchell can really hold his head high. So, tell us a bit more about Mitchell. He's obviously the co-captain. Is this his first year of captaincy, or has he been involved as a captain previously?
He has been a captain previously. At a young age too. I think he was...
Oh, looks not too bad as well, but just pulls it across through for a minor score. Had the distance covered, no problem at all. He's got a fair hoof on him.
Yeah, I know he was captain probably some six years ago when I was at Hamley.
Yep.
Because his partner is involved with Hamley.
Yep.
Amber Watson. But then he hadn't been captain for the last few years while Red was coach, but he's back now with the captaincy and is leading by the front. So leading by example.
Absolutely is. No doubt been the best player today for Anglevale, but plenty of stars here for 2L's. Really good game from Jamie Humphries as well. Just pops a high ball up, one-on-one contest here. Punch down in front by Harris, goes over the boundary. So right in front of the 2L's club rooms here with their 4 consecutive banners hanging up inside. Like you said, Source, a red-hot chance and probable to add a 5th in season 2025. Malalal will have something to say about that, no doubt, but Rathman takes the mark in the middle, sees some options up ahead, and that's positive ball movement, taking the mark inside forward 50. I believe that's Andrew Marshall. So he'll have a set shot from a slide angle, about 40. He'll have to kick this about 40 metres, Source.
Yeah, he's capable, but he has played a full game, and he actually was best on ground in the reserves today. Kicked 4 goals in the reserves, so legs might be a little tired and tight.
Knows where
but
they
he
are,
should, yeah, he does know where they are. He may well kick it.
So crosses the paint of 50 from about 45.
Dropped it horribly.
Yeah, it does pull it across and through for a minor score. So for the first time in some time, Anglevale get back-to-back scores. Unfortunately for them, not majors. So Marshall with a behind. And yeah, you're right. It's a different ball game when you got, like you said, 7 players that have had to play 8 quarters here this afternoon. It's, you know, a good quality football league, the Adelaide Plains Footy League, but we're not professional athletes out here, so that would really be struggling, especially late in this game. So mark taken here on the outer side as they cut across to Warnocky. Has an option short, the 250 gamer in Lachlan Franklin. So they come across, they miss the kick though, so a chance here to Hana, working his way onto the footy, moves it out across and eventually picking it up. Josh Carter, inside forward 50, Marshall now, snaps it around his body, hasn't got it close to the goal face and eventually over the boundary.
I think he was aiming for the goals at Anglevale there, because if you go that way, that's where you'd find Anglevale.
He must know where they are as well. Slattery. Now, quickly harness out through Binion. So, had the first goal of this 4th quarter, Anglevale had the first 2 goals of the match. But really, between those 2 marks, there's been not a real lot. Harness over the top, and Rudiger nearly taking the mark. Just drops it in the last millisecond. Barnett, handball over the top. Harris pops the ball across, but intercepting was Jonathan Wright. Maynard goes long down the line. Waiting for him to run up at the footy, and Rathman did well to work his way to it. And Rathman goes long down. One-on-one contest here. Marshall's there. Williams in front. Handball over the top, and Blumson's got some space to go. Can take a bounce. Going in towards forward 50 now, has a bit of room. Handball over the top. And this is the first game, I reckon. Can try and pop through a goal, and does. So Jackson Ashford on debut puts through a goal, and that's something positive to take from the afternoon.
Yeah, let's say that.
So
No, good on the young fella.
Ashford through for a goal. Trying to give you something, Sauce. 101 points.
We're clutching at straws.
It's our job as commentators to see the light in everything. But well done, young fella. Jackson Ashford on debut, popping through a goal, and now back down to 101 points. So maybe a small little target here with maybe about 6 minutes or so left of real time.
Keep it under 100, you reckon?
Keep it under 100. It looks a little prettier on the scoreboard, no doubt about it. And their second goal of this fourth quarter as well. So good goal there for Jackson Ashford. And well worked for Anglevale from end to end as well, it must be said. Started with Rathman on the back flank as Mason in the middle. Mitchell, handball over the top. But it's into a little bit of trouble here. Pellizzari inside forward 50. A good mark in defence taken. We're able to move it out wider. Not able to take the mark there. Underneath was Jesse Burns. And there's going to be a stoppage on the outer side. So now down in front. Warnick gets a little bit of space, snapping around towards goal. Near the goal square, gets punched down in front. McKay once again getting a fist on it. And Pellizzari getting wrapped up in a tackle. So Slattery knocking it down, not really to any advantage. Jumping straight on it once again. Warnick. So Wright and Slattery deep in defence here for Anglevale. Wright snaps it around. Blumson sitting underneath this one. Just pops it long and high up to centre wing. Out the back, Williams. He's got some wheels on him so he can pick it up and go. Inside forward 50, just a little too strong out the back. Marshall still fighting for it. As we've seen a clash here as well on centre wing between two Wells players. So ball up here in forward 50 as they're able to clear. Aaron Dart finds Smith on the outer side, and they've got the runners over the top. Franklin inside forward 50, looking for the leaders at the footy. Dylan Wise running up at it, still amongst it. Wise picking it up, and a handball out the back. Wise now close to the boundary, tucked up against it, goes towards goal, but just pops it through for a minor score. So 137 to 35. So out of the goal square, the pass players tent still giving it through the middle of the ground. It's knocked down in front. Been a little bit more positive intent here from Anglevale in the last 5 minutes, it must be said. Mason, Tahana, handball over the top. Mitchell, ever composed. Maynard, quickly stopped by Harris. As Marshall leading up at him, goes a little shorter. Couldn't quite take the mark there. Jackson Ashford gets knocked to the ground. Two Wells now with the numbers. Handball over the top to Slattery. Only gets tackled away there by Maynard. Now in the contest wrapped up is Ed Mead. So to be balled up here, right near the benches. I think the final siren will come at any moment. Pellizzari now at the back of the contest. Now working onto it is Barnett. Just pops a ball out in front of himself, has another crack at it. Pelliconi picking it up. In fact, that's Harris moving it out through hands, and free kick going to be paid here to the Roosters. Warnick chips it across to Humphreys. And they find Smith in open space inside forward 50. Plays on quickly, moves the ball by hand now. Towards goal goes Rainbrecht. And he pulls it across through for a minor score. So now out to 103 points on the Sportal scoreboard. I think both teams are just playing it out to the final siren. Not a real lot happening out here at the moment. Through the middle of the ground. A little bit more positive intent. Mason over the top, looking for the leapers in Ashford, couldn't quite. He did well to pull it to ground. And quickly wrapped up and tackle was Franklin. So we'll have to start talking about who our players of the game are as well. Source, you mentioned at three-quarter time that it was tricky. There's a bit of room here. Glancy now towards goal. Pulls it across the face and eventually over the boundary, so it'll be a free kick to the Roosters.
Surprised he didn't get called up for running too far there. I thought he had a few more than 15 steps.
So Hayden will switch it right across. See something he likes over the top and they go there now. Handball coming from Noah Barnett through the middle of the ground and Humphreys. I think Luke Barnett is probably one that stood out for me in the midfield. He's had moments in this game where he's just worked his way right through the middle. It'll be easy just for me to say Jacob Thompson's kick 6, give it to him. He got a pair of thongs last time I was here, so...
Nah, he hasn't done enough.
No, he's...
Six goals, but
Yeah.
6 easy goals.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been fed well by his on-ballers upfield.
Yeah, I think Barnett's been absolutely fantastic. He'd be comfy in a pair of Archie Stongs, no doubt about it. So, as well as a custom by ORTC filming footy beanie.
Well, will the beanie fit over his hair?
That's it. He's got the locks going. It's pretty stretchy. They do all right. So Barnett's here amongst it once again against the house debutant Jackson Ashford, and eventually over the boundary. So really, this final siren should go at any moment. So now back inside forward 50. Dark couldn't quite pick it up off his feet. A chance to snap around towards goal once again. Ashford couldn't get any purchase on it. Comes back out. And they're able to clear easily the Roosters to centre wing. Over the top, Smith couldn't quite take the mark. Franklin working his way onto the footy. Gets knocked free. Franklin now fighting Pelliconi. The umpire will ball it up. Knocked down once again. It was Pelliconi. Not Pelliconi. In fact, it was Warnicky in the ruck. Handball out from Rathman to Hana. Out to Maynard. Now a bit of space rolling inside forward 50. Starts it right and keeps it right for another minor score. So now 102-point margin on the Sportal scoreboard. A forgettable afternoon here for Anglevale, but Two Wells, not that they needed any of it, but possibly a little more confidence. Confidence bar that was already quite full. A little chipping ball. Move it across the middle of the ground. Harness. Finds Sekafine jumping up at the footy and taking the grab. That brings us to the end of the game. An 102-point victory to Two Wells. 2018, 138 to 5-6-36. In a procession here at Two Wells Oval, it was just a dominant performance. They had so many players. I think you said at Source at one point through the game, how many pairs of thongs do I have? They didn't really have any areas on the ground where they lost out.
Not at all. They just a slick unit, very well drilled. Just play for each other, run for each other. They're a very good side to watch. And unfortunately, as we said earlier today, 7 players that have already played games in reserves or 17s, it was never going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Just well done to Two Wells. Just go on doing what they do.
Absolutely. Jacob Thompson has got a bit of ice on the knee too, so took it easy there in the last quarter. We'll have to wrap up fairly quick. They'll have to go get the player player of the game before they jump off. I will go find Luke Barnett, the vice-captain. Had 1 goal here this afternoon, but probably had about 35 touches to go along with that as well. Was certainly a great player. So stay tuned for the post-game presentation. You've been joined by Lewis McKenna, of course, Source. You've been fantastic joining me once again.
Pleasure, mate, as always.
I'll see you next week as well for the game of the round.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we'll go to a little bit of a break. Player of the game coming right up. Well, g'day footy fans. We're back here at Two Wells Oval with the player of the game for filming footy, Luke Barnett, the vice-captain for Two Wells, in an 102-point victory, mate. You must be pretty happy with your team's work.
No, it was good. Good team effort by all the boys. Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. You had a brilliant game yourself, mate. Got on the scoreboard with a goal, but you probably had about 30, 35 touches or so. I seen at one point you ran from one end of the ground to the other end. You're on your haunches as well, mate. You worked hard.
Yeah, no, it was good. The boys fed me the ball. It was nice.
Absolutely, yeah. You're full forward, doing a lot of work, and Jacob Thompson kicking 6 goals, 5 in the first half as well. Handy to have him back. He missed a few weeks.
Yeah, no, he's a bit of a cheat code. He's a big boy.
Absolutely, he is. Well, you guys obviously undefeated this year, looking for 5 in a row. You must be absolutely full of confidence at the moment, the way you guys are playing your footy.
Yeah, no, it's good. Hopefully another good win next week and then take the form into finals.
Absolutely. Well, you've won some Archie's thongs there, a beanie as well custom by ORTC, mate. So congratulations on a good win. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. That'll do us here at Two Wells Oval for filming footy. It's Two Wells with a 102-point victory over Angle Vale. Tune in next week when we're back at Angle Vale Oval. Thanks, guys.